guys, how's it going? Just Driver JSMR, and I'm bringing you part 3 of my 500 subscriber special. The reason this took so long to get out was because my job has been working me like a dog. But here we are. And it is really hot in my basement right now, which is, this black shirt isn't helping. But, let's get started. This third and final part of this 500 subscriber special will be just a little discussion on how I got into game collecting. I do collect video games, and I really enjoy doing it. But the reason I started doing it is because I wanted to experience what it was like back then. The oldest I go is the PlayStation 2, if you saw the first part. Let me get it closer. The furthest back I go is a PlayStation 2, if you saw the first part. But I wanted to experience some older stuff, Atari, NES, SNES, stuff like that, N64, original PlayStation, all that. I wanted to experience what it was like to play games back then, and I can now, because I have a bunch of old games, and they're in front of me. You can't see them, but I've got NES, Atari, SNES, and 64, original PlayStation. What else I got? I have newer stuff, obviously. Like, I've got Xbox 360, which isn't newer. It's newer. It's not new by any means. Xbox 360, GameCube, original Xbox, Wii U. Obviously, I have my PS2 collection, PS3. I did have the PS3. I think I talked about that. I can't remember though. It's been so long since I've done one of these. But my sheer love for video games and wanting to experience what it was like back then, it really got me into collecting, and I love it. It's a passion. I didn't bring anything to show for this video because, well, there's nothing really to show except for my face. I started amassing games and different games, like what's over there, Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. It's an amazing game. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I loved the Legend of Zelda series. Don't know if I explained that in a previous part. I love the Legend of Zelda series. Excuse me. I love the Legend of Zelda series, and I wanted to experience some of the older games. So I have The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past on Super Nintendo. That's actually complete in box. I don't have the original 2 on the NES. Have yet to get those. The Wind Waker on GameCube, which actually is now my favorite game of all time, believe it or not. Yeah, my favorite game of all time is The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker on the GameCube. And obviously the remake they made on the Wii U looks 1,000 times better, but and obviously I'd play that one over the GameCube version, but the original one I played was the GameCube version, so I'm just gonna say Wind Waker on the GameCube. And so many different Zelda games, like Skyward Sword on the Wii. And I'd have to put that in my top 5. I'm not sure where though. Skyward Sword on top 5. My second favorite Zelda game is actually Majora's Mask on N64. I haven't beaten that yet. Gotta get around doing that. It's a hard game. They really upped the difficulty with Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time. But anyways, yeah, it's just, collecting is really my thing now. I don't I don't. Well, one of my collecting goals is actually a complete GameCube collection because, believe it or not, um, sorry for if you can hear that. I try to close the door to try to block out as much of the pipes as I can, but I can probably still hear it. The GameCube, believe it or not, is my favorite console of all time, which is kind of funny because I grew up playing the PlayStation 2, but I actually like the GameCube more. It's kind of funny. They were direct competitors. It was not direct. GameCube really didn't have a chance in that generation, just because it was so different from the competition. It didn't do near as well as the PlayStation 2 or Xbox. PlayStation 2 came out on top. In fact, I think the PlayStation 2 is still the number one most sold number one best selling console of all time. I think it's still the number one. I don't know. Hopefully Nintendo's switching past that out. No, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. Speaking of that, the Nintendo Switch, which happens to be my second favorite console of all time, the Nintendo Switch is a beautiful console. Released more than 2 years ago. I believe it was March 3rd, 2017. I remember the date, and I'll tell you why I remember the date in a minute. Then I've got so many good games on the Switch. In fact, my most recent one was Mario Maker 2, and that's a good game. Although the online could be a bit better, but actually a lot better. But Mario Maker 2, great game. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, nothing needs to be said about that. Everyone knows it's a good game. Breath of the Wild. Don't get me started on Breath of the Wild. That's gotta be my third favorite. If you get me started on Breath of the Wild, I'm gonna be ranting about it. Good rant for a few hours. It's my third favorite Zelda game, right behind Majora's Mask. Mario Odyssey, great game. Mario Odyssey is a good game. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Octopath Traveler. Oh, I have not beaten it yet, but that's such a beautiful game. Just the visuals and the graphics. It was just so well done. Octopath Traveler. I have Super Mario Party was kind of lacking. The mini games could have been better in Super Mario Party. I did get Super Mario Party. Actually, I got that at the Nintendo World Store in New York. I went to the Nintendo World Store in New York last November, and I went there and I bought Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition and Super Mario Party. The reason I got those two, I wanted to get Skyrim on the Switch, but I couldn't because I was 16 at the time. And they were like, we need ID. You need to be 17 or older. And I had ID, but I was only 16. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what? GameStop doesn't even do that anymore. I mean, ESRB is probably the most... ESRB is probably the most irrelevant thing now. Because you've got 7-year-olds playing Grand Theft Auto and going to strip clubs and stuff, and it's just why card people for, why ask for ID when ESRB is so irrelevant? I don't know, but I couldn't get Skyrim that day. I bought that digitally then, which, okay, I'm about to go off on a rant on digital games. Let me make sure this is still recording. Yep, we're good. Okay. I don't like digital games. My friends hate me for it, but I do not like digital games. Digital games are literally one of the worst things I've ever experienced. Because, They take forever to download. If you have the disc or cartridge in Nintendo Switch's case, if you have disc or cartridge, I mean PS4 and Xbox One, they make you download stuff from the disc, but it doesn't take near as long as you buy it digitally. It takes forever to download depending on the internet connection. And you don't have anything to show for it. You have the game, but if you don't have the console, you can't prove that you have the game. It's like, hey guys, excuse me. It's like, hey guys, I got a Skyrim on Switch. It's like, oh yeah, where is it? It's like, oh, it's on my Switch. You don't have your Switch. It's like, how do I know you have the game? How do you know you're not lying to me? That usually doesn't happen. Usually you just say, oh, I bought it digitally, and then they'll believe you. But you get the point. You don't have anything, you don't, and plus in my case, being a collector, I need something to put on the shelf. I had a friend that got really mad at me because he wanted me, because we share play on PS4, we share games with the accounts, and I said, I'm not buying digital games anymore, which is the only way you can share games if you buy it digitally. And he said, dude, why not? And I said, because I won't have anything to put on my shelf, and he got furious. He wasn't happy about that one, but I'm not buying digital games anymore. It's just not going to happen. And they take way more storage than, in Switch's case, having only 32 gigabytes of storage. The Switch needs the physical game, unless you're going to buy a micro SD card for it. Because it's just, the Switch is just, the storage is so small, and didn't figure that out. Yeah, I guess to make it compact, they made it smaller. But then again, the Wii U had 32 gigabytes of storage, and that was, anyways. LA Noir on Nintendo Switch is like more than half that Switch's storage. In fact, I think it's more than the Switch's storage. Isn't it like something like 30 some gigabytes and it's only got 32? Something like 37 or something. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But LA Noire, if on the Switch, which isn't a good game by the way, I'm not gonna get that. That's bigger than the Switch's storage. So if you don't have a micro SD card, you're not playing it on the Switch. So you need those physical games because the cartridge takes so much less storage because it's all in the cartridge. It doesn't go to the internal storage. Updates go to the internal storage, but those are only like a few megabytes at most. Those are like 100 megabytes at most for updates because Nintendo doesn't really update games unless it's like patch updates and stuff. Like, yeah, when you put the cartridge in, you have an update right away because that's the launch update. You launch the game, someone sees a problem with it, they go to update it immediately. It's just Switch needs physical games. The cases look amazing. I mean, over there, I'm looking at them right now, and they're beautiful. Anyways, I went off on a bit of a tangent there. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I love collecting. It's my thing right now, and I don't think it's gonna go out anytime soon. The Nintendo Switch is my second favorite console of all time. GameCube's my first. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to thank you all again for 500 subscribers. It really means the world to me, and I think at 1,000 subscribers, if we get there, I think I'll do a Q&A at 1,000. Let me know if that's too early or not. I'm not sure. I've never done a Q&A before, but let me know. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Stick around. There might be a roleplay coming soon, although my definition of soon is different than most people's definitions of soon because of work. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.